In September of 1944, a wave of sudden, unexplained paralysis swept through a small Illinois town. If you search for the Mad Gasser of Mattoon online, most true crime channels and mystery podcasts will sell you a standard ghost story. They talk about a stealthy predator, a rogue scientist, a human monster who eluded the police and vanished into the fog of history. But they are looking at the wrong crime scene. To understand what actually happened in the autumn of 1944, we have to strip away the sensational headlines. We have to look through the eyes of the local authorities, specifically Police Chief C. E. Cole. He was a practical man, a lawman who expected footprints, broken glass, and physical evidence. Instead, he watched his entire town turn into a weapon against itself. Let us look at the night the fuse was lit. September 1st, 1944. Aline Kearney is in her bedroom on a quiet street in Mattoon. Her husband is away. Her child is sleeping nearby. The night is remarkably still. Suddenly, Kearney detects a strange odor filtering through her open window. She describes it as sweet, sickly sweet, like cheap perfume or industrial chemicals. Within moments, her body rebels. Her lips feel parched, her throat burns, and then the terror sets in. Her legs refuse to move. She is completely paralyzed in her own bed. By the time her husband returns home later that night, the symptoms have begun to fade, but the fear has not. A local prowler is spotted near the window, but he leaves no tracks in the soft dirt outside. The next morning, the local newspaper, the Mattoon Journal-Gazette, prints a front-page article. The headline screams of an anesthetic prowler on the loose. And that is when the contagion truly began. To understand why the town collapsed into madness over the next 10 days, we have to understand the environment. It was late 1944, the height of World War II. Mattoon was not just a sleepy town. It was a community under intense, prolonged psychological pressure. Nearly every household had a son, a brother, or a husband fighting overseas. The local diesel and ammunition plants were running 24 hours a day, filling the air with constant noise and chemical odors. The human mind, under that much sustained dread, becomes highly volatile. It becomes a dry forest, waiting for a single spark. Once the newspaper gave the townspeople a shape for their fear, the phone at Chief Cole's police station started ringing. And it didn't stop. The reports were identical. A sweet smell, a sudden tightness in the chest, numbness in the lower limbs. On September 5th, a mother hears her daughter coughing in the night and catches a whiff of the sweet vapor. On September 7th, another family claims the gas was so thick it made them vomit. Neighbors who had known each other for decades began staring through closed curtains with suspicion. Armed vigilante groups, carrying shotguns and hunting rifles, began patrolling the dark streets. Mattoon had become a pressure cooker of paranoia. But when Chief Cole and his officers arrived at these homes, they found a chilling consistency. Nothing. There were no footprints under the windows. There were no marks on the window screens. Chief Cole brought in chemical experts. They tested the air inside the homes of the victims. They checked for industrial leaks from the nearby factories. They analyzed the clothing of those who claimed to be paralyzed. The scientific conclusion was absolute. There were zero traces of any toxic or anesthetic gas. Furthermore, medical experts pointed out a glaring flaw in the Mad Gasser theory. In 1944, there was no chemical agent in existence, military or civilian, that could be sprayed through an open window, instantly paralyze someone, and then evaporate into thin air without leaving a single trace or affecting anyone else in the neighborhood. The physical symptoms the townspeople felt were real. The vomiting, the paralysis, the burning throats. They weren't lying. But the cause wasn't a man hiding in the bushes with a gas gun. It was mass psychogenic illness, mass hysteria, the human brain utterly overwhelmed by wartime anxiety, simulated a physical attack. It was easier for the subconscious mind to fight an imaginary monster outside the window than to sit in the dark and face the invisible, crushing weight of the war. Seeing the chaos, Chief Cole made a tactical decision. He requested that the local newspapers stop publishing sensational updates about the phantom attacker. He announced to the public that the threat was likely a delusion. The moment the headlines stopped, the gas attacks instantly vanished. The Mad Gasser of Mattoon didn't escape into the night. He was put away the exact moment the town stopped believing in him. Which leaves us with a final, unsettling truth for anyone who loves a good mystery. If the human mind can convince the body that it is paralyzed by a phantom, how do you know what is real the next time you smell something sweet in the dark?